Welcome back on this Monday. Glad you're joining us for this week as we wrap up the book of Exodus. Remember that in the chapters leading up to this point, Moses has received the instructions of the tabernacle from the Lord, and we talked about what those instructions were to some extent and why they're important. Today we're going to begin with the building of the tabernacle. I'm not going to read the whole chapter, so go ahead and read through it. The first part today, I'm going to read through verse 9, and I'm going to leave the rest of that to you to take a look at. Let's begin with verse 1. Bezalel and Aholiab, and every craftsman in whom the Lord had put skill and intelligence to know how to do any work in the construction of the sanctuary shall work in accordance with all that the Lord has commanded. And Moses called Bezalel and Aholiab, and every craftsman in whose mind the Lord had put skill, everyone whose heart stirred him to come to do the work. And they received from Moses all the contributions that the people of Israel had brought for doing the work on the sanctuary, and they still kept bringing him free will offerings every morning, so that all the craftsmen who were doing every sort of task on the sanctuary came, each from his task that he was doing, and said to Moses, "The people bring so much more than enough for doing the work that the Lord has commanded us to do." So Moses gave the command, and the word was proclaimed throughout the camp, "Let no man or woman do anything more for the contributions for the sanctuary." So the people were restrained from bringing, for the material they had was sufficient to do all the work and more. And all the craftsmen among the workmen made the tabernacle with 10 curtains, and they were made of finely twisted linen and blue and purple and scarlet yarns, with cherubim skillfully woven. I'm going to let you read the rest of this chapter as he goes into detail on how it was made. And if you go back a few chapters to where God was giving Moses the instructions, you'll see that they are in the same manner, making it according to the plan of God, according to the desire that he has, that he put on the heart of the craftsmen so that they would come and do the work under the guidance of Bezalel and Aholiab. All the craftsmen were making these beautiful parts of the tabernacle. And the tabernacle would be around for about 400 years. It would be well made. Everything there would be great. One thing I want to point out, and I know this is going to be a little bit shorter this week because there's a lot of repetitious. And as I mentioned, notice the repetition. That is because, remember, this was an oral society, and by repeating it, it would bring to mind what they had heard earlier, easier for them to remember. But the part I want to bring to mind here is that the people kept bringing the free will offerings. They kept bringing more and more to the workmen. And finally, the workmen had to tell Moses, "Tell everybody to stop. We have more than enough to do what's needed." See, that's how God works, isn't it? He put on the hearts of the craftsmen to do the work that was needed. He put on the hearts of the people to give of the free will offerings so that all would be provided, so they would have more than enough to do the work of the Lord in making the tabernacle. The rest of the chapter, as I said, go ahead and read it on your own. It's talking about the making of the coverings and the loops and the poles and everything needed to make the tent, or the tabernacle, that was needed, that they would use to then worship the Lord their God. Come back tomorrow. We'll hit another section, this on Exodus 37, which continues that building process. The point to take home from this chapter is how God provides for the need of his people, for what he gives and wants us to do. A reminder to us to give freely, to share, to use those gifts, not just the money, the gift aspect in that way, but the skills that God has given to us to do his work always. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow.